Today's event is essentially about exploring what a future collaborative economy, grounded in evidence, in impact measurement and in shared learning, would look like.
While the sharing economy has really strong business bias, both a really fertile ground for young tech startups and also for well-established businesses to gain from, there's a huge opportunity for those startups and those businesses to be better understanding their social and environmental and public benefit and impact, as well as understanding the impact of the public, third and social sectors to think about exploiting the principles of the sharing economy to drive public benefit.
So Spice is a social enterprise that develops time currencies to help build communities and to try and change the way that public services are delivered, to put people really at the heart of it and enable people to contribute to their communities and to delivering their own services. So for us, having independent evaluation of that was essential in order to be able to ourselves learn what was happening, but also to be able to demonstrate the change that was taking place.
In terms of what we've learned, I mean, it's had a huge impact on really the core of our work and how we do business, how we invest money.
For us, policy and being able to engage with policy stakeholders has been really a critical part of developing the product. And so for us, it was really clear early on that that was a place that we needed to develop or devote resources. I think for a younger company, being able to think through sort of what objectives they have with the research that they have. And also, if resources are limited, thinking about being able to partner with outside organizations, academics, nonprofits, organizations such as Nesta to really sort of push forward the research agenda. I think there's a lot to be gained in that kind of collaboration.
There is an acknowledgement that academics can provide an independent piece of research and piece of advice which can enhance the innovative capacity of sharing platforms themselves, and also the innovative capacity of those who they have to work with, the stakeholders, individuals, policymakers, local authorities. So there is a great deal of interest, and I'm quite pleased with that.
Nesta commissioned us to look at the size of the collaborative economy. But one of the key issues is, what do you define as a collaborative economy? Because this is the first such exercise, we limited our definition to households using their time, their skills and their goods and selling those over the internet to strangers. And our aim was to estimate the total size of economic activity in the economy.
There's a lot of sensitivity around the types of data that we have, and we rigorously protect our users' privacy. So we do have a challenge around being able to share the kinds of sort of raw data that a lot of researchers find interesting. At the same time, I think there's a ton of value in being able to work with other sharing economy companies to look at things sort of more holistically. So it's not just an Airbnb research or an Airbnb data point, that it's really about the larger economy, that it's about sort of this larger thing that's going on. And for us to be able to contribute to that conversation, I think is hugely useful.
It's hugely important that some of the kind of questions that we've identified through our conversation actually get pursued. But I'm also conscious, having interacted with some of those research funders for our work, that actually there's a job to do to persuade them of the importance and the kind of growing importance of this area. The more that can be done on that score, the better. And ironically, this is a sort of slightly tongue-in-cheek point. But actually, if you think about the sort of some of the kind of comment is about the fiscal risks of the sharing economy, where actually the state, that, you know, effectively there's the potential to change the relationship with the state because people are not interacting in exactly the same way. That poses some of the risks, which actually might mean that government needs to actually get their finger out and understand what's going on. But I mean, I think the more that can be done to sort of really pin down what we're talking about, so that you're defining what's really going on that's new, and the more that you can demonstrate the the kind of serious economic impact that it's having, or the serious social impact that it's having in parts of the country where activity is taking place, the more people will start taking notice.
There is some valuable and very good research happening, but I'd love to see much more research that makes policymakers, investors, funders, the sharing economy businesses themselves stand up and say, this is really useful. I trust this data, I trust the method, I trust the insights, and it's genuinely helping me with my work going forward. And if we can think collectively about how we can bring those two things together, I think we'll be in a fantastic place.
Today's event was a huge success in starting to think about how to embed an ethos of evidence in the collaborative economy. We saw some great examples of organisations carrying out this research themselves, others who are looking outside the organisation to start to think about this.